What's up, everyone? We are live at 5. It's Wednesday, July 15th. I'm Paul Wontorek.
I'm Beth Stevens.
Hey, Beth, it's tax day. I just remembered. It's tax day. It's delayed tax day. Anyway, if anyone who hasn't done it. We're here live at 5, and we're joined, as always, by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
How are you doing, Caitlin?
I'm very excited.
I'm so excited, too. We have, like, the guest of all guests. Who... Beth, I know I'm going to let you say it because I know you're excited. Who's here today?
We have Broadway legend Bernadette Peters here
to
talk all about Broadway barks across America.
Yes. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to get to all of it. But first, we'll do a little bit of news.
Congratulations are in order for these fresh Obie Award winners.
That's right. Of course, that right there is a production photo from the show we keep talking about when we talk about awards, A Strange Loop. Strange Loop, Heroes of the Fourth Turning, and more were honored with 2020 Obie Awards last night in a virtual, everything is virtual, Paul, a virtual ceremony hosted by Cola Scola. So Michael R. Jackson's A Strange Loop won, Will Arbery's Heroes of the Fourth Turning, and some performance awards for some of my favorite people. Liza Colon-Zayas, you know how much I love her, and Elizabeth Rodriguez for Halfway Bitches Go Straight to Heaven, and Emily Davis for Is This
What'd
True?
You say? You said it?
You know what? It's Stephen
Alegarigas.
You got to say it. He wrote the you know what with the hat, so we get used to these things, don't we? And a lot of winners. You can check out the complete list on Broadway.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, and this year, Bears is going virtual.
Oh my God, Beth! Look at those abs. What is happening there? That's a lot.
That's how they do.
That's a lot to process. So yes, everything is going virtual. Obviously, Broadway Barks is tomorrow, which we're going to talk about, and now Broadway Bears. You got to always sort of like say when you say the.
They're a little bit different. I don't know.
Very different. But Broadway Bears is also going online. And so this is all happening on August 1st, and they're calling it Zoom In, which is kind of a title that probably wrote itself. And this is, of course, an amazing charity for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. Jerry Mitchell started it way back 30 years ago.
Wow.
For the 30th anniversary big event was supposed to be this year. That'll be next year. But to hold you over on August 1st at 9:30 p.m., sort of a sexy time, you can watch strippers. I mean, Broadway, burlesque, and there are going to be a lot of greatest hits of past Broadway Bears, and some favorites will be performing, and it is free to watch, but they do encourage donation to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, of course.
And today we found out which shows are going to be part of Playwright Horizon's 50th anniversary season.
Can you believe it? Playwright Horizon's 50th anniversary and Adam Greenfield's inaugural season as artistic director. That's Alicia Harris, and her play What to Send Up When It Goes Down will be part of the season, as well as Sylvia Curry's Selling Cobble, Dave Harris's Tambo and Bones, and Sanaz Tusi's Wish You Were Here. Now, Adam Greenfield has said all of those shows will be directed by women.
Oh,
what a concept, or female directors. They had previously announced Jeremy O. Harris's A Boy's Company Presents Tell Me If I'm Hurting You. They will still be producing that, just postponing it until their next season. So check out the details of Broadway.com. We don't have dates or casting yet. And, we don't have dates for a lot right now because who knows? But anyway, we get to find out what's coming up at Playwrights Horizons.
You know what else started at Playwrights Horizons? Your favorite musical ever.
Really? What's my favorite musical ever?
Sunday in the Park with George.
I know, it really is.
Sorry,
it really is.
I couldn't help.
I'm sure Bernadette appreciated your take on that.
Sure.
Definitely. And we also found out all of the details for Arena Stage's upcoming season.
Yeah, this is a photo of Tony Stone, which is Lydia Diamond's musical, right? Is it a musical or a play?
It's a play.
It's a play.
I saw it. It's great.
You saw it? They did it off Broadway. It's about the first woman in the Negro Leagues. That is one of the many fantastic plays they've announced. Also, I'm really excited about this. Celia and Fidel, which is by Eduardo Mercado, and this is about Fidel Castro. I love Cuban history.
You do.
Beth knows that.
Almost as much as Sunday in the Park.
August Wilson's Seven Guitars is coming back in April, which is one of his fantastic plays. A new musical called American Prophet, Frederick Douglass in his own words, a musical, and Charles Randolph Wright and Marcus Hummin are working on that one. And I don't know much about Frederick Douglass. I'm excited about that. And Britta Johnson's Life After is in August. So anyway, you can find out all about the season on Broadway.com.
Yes, and Regent's Open Air Park is giving a special concert presentation.
Right. So Regent's Park Open Air Theatre in London, that is an image of Jesus Christ Superstar. They're going to do a special concert staging. And, you know, Regent's, have you ever been there, Paul? It's kind of like the Delaware. It's a little bit like being in Shakespeare in the Park, but, you know, right. British. And they do a lot of musicals. And they're going to do a 6-week run opening on August 14th this year, 2020. There's going to be a performance.
Okay, cool.
It's happening. There are a lot of safety procedures in place, which you can read all about on Broadway.com. Timothy Shader is directing the production. Of course, he's the artistic director there. And choreography by Drew McGoney. And no casting yet, at least not announced. Maybe they're in rehearsal, because that's pretty soon. But there you go. Now, all of the other productions that they had previously scheduled for this summer have been moved till 2021.
Okay, cool. You know what's crazy, guys? I remember I said that they're doing a course line in upstate New York, and I heard about they're doing a course line outdoors. I just found out today that actors wear clear masks during the show. So now I'm
a lot of dancing in clear masks.
I have to see how that works. I don't know how you sing through a clear mask.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe
anyway,
it's a face shield.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll be on a picnic blanket with no one within 10 feet of me. Anyway,
exactly.
Maybe I'll bring Henry. Maybe I could bring my dog. That'd be fun too.
That's a good segue.
Speaking of dogs. Hey, Caitlin, why don't you tell everyone about today's guest?
I will gladly do this because just last week, Paul and I were talking about how much we adore our guest today. Guys, today we have the Bernadette Peters here with us for a new episode of Live at 5 Home Edition, live right here on Facebook and YouTube. In case you guys didn't know, I'm going to give you guys a little brief something. Bernadette, she has 3 Tony Awards, and today we're going to be talking all about Broadway across America, Broadway Barks across America, that is happening right here on Broadway.com tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So this is going to mark the 22nd anniversary of 22nd annual Broadway Barks event that Bernadette started with Miss Mary Tyler Moore. So we're going to talk all about the history of that, and this is all happening online tomorrow. It's going to be an all-star, all-packed live stream event featuring the biggest Broadway stars with adoptable pets that you can actually adopt. And it's a whole fundraiser event. So we're really excited. We're going to be talking all about that. You guys can follow along at Broadway Barks on social or at official Bernadette Peters on social media. Everyone, please keep putting your questions in the comments below. And please welcome Miss Bernadette and Paul.
Bernadette Peters.
Hello.
There she is.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Well, I saw you earlier today because you're working so hard on our virtual Broadway Bark. So we Zoomed earlier today.
I know. I never thought I'd actually be like working with you. It's exciting. It's a new twist in my career, on my resume.
It's been great. Absolutely.
I'm gonna put you down as a reference. I'm gonna impress some people.
Okay. What kind of job are you looking for?
I'm good right now. But it's been, you know what? So I heard that you wanted to take Broadway Barks online. I have loved Broadway Barks. It's been one of I love your performing career, but it's been so great to see you have this sort of side thing that has just grown every year. And it's such a, it's just such a beautiful thing that you get to do. And I love animals, and I do have my rescue dog, Henry. And so I just begged, basically. I said, can I please be a part of this? Because I'm into this. So did you wanted to do it online, obviously?
Yes. Well, who it was, Patty Cicenti, who my assistant, her idea. Yeah. Let's do it virtual. And I went,
actually, on that note, I'm going to show this photo because it's one of my favorite photos. This is you on opening night of Hello Dolly. We have this hanging up at the Broadway.com offices. And who's in the background checking her watch, holding a Tiffany's bag? That's her. That's Patty.
That's Patty. That's Patty.
I love that photo. Anyway, so she said, we got to do this online.
I'm going to come here. I'm talking to my dog. You want to
Co-star?
come up? Say hello.
Please.
Rosalie, face
Who do we have?
Wait, come here. She's facing the other way. Rosie, come here, babe. Oh no, she's upset because I turned her body around. Anyway,
if everybody wants to see your dogs, they can watch Broadway Barks tomorrow night at 7:30.
They're going to make an appearance as well as so many other gorgeous, delicious creatures. And I was looking at it all today and just smiling at the animals and at the celebrities who they're so beautiful up there. They're just these creative creatures, people, and they love animals, and they're just up there in all their glory talking about animals and so beautifully creative, and then the uplifting, and then on come the animals who are also uplifting. It's divine, just divine.
And they're actually available. So what you guys did is you have all these shelters. You have dozens and dozens of shelters that Broadway Barks always works with.
Yes.
And basically every shelter has certain animals that are sort of being reserved for Broadway Barks.
Yes, all these animals will be available starting tomorrow night, so get in there fast. But this year, I had been wanting this Broadway Barks across America. I had been wanting to figure out a way to help shelters across the country.
Yeah.
So we added shelters from across the country, and I'm so proud to be able to do that. So we have Laurie Metcalf was in Idaho, so we have Teton Valley in Idaho, and my friend Malcolm McDowell lives in Ojai, so we have Santa Paula shelter from there, and then Emmylou Harris has her own shelter.
I know, in her backyard. I'm so jealous.
I know, me too, in her backyard. And she sings a lovely song, and we get to see her animals, and it's just divine, just so great.
It is fantastic. But people, a lot of people, celebrities all say like, well, I'll do anything for Bernadette Peters. I mean, like, you don't have a hard time getting people to want to be a part of you. I mean, I know every year you get people to Schubert Alley when you do the live event, but this is a little easier actually, because you can get people they don't have to come to New York. They're all over the place.
Right. It was very localized when it's in Schubert Alley. Basically, we get everybody out of the Broadway shows from between shows, but this was all over the country. So Carol Burnett is in it, and Hugh Jackman, actually, he would have been on Broadway, so he was from his house, and then and Nathan Lane and Malcolm McDowell and John Hamm. I'm going like this to the people that are on the West Coast. John Hamm and Mary Steenburgen and Ted Danson. I'm just,
this is a slippery slope, because we could be here for a half hour listing all the people.
Lin-Manuel and Eric and Jake Gyllenhaal and Whoopi Goldberg. God bless her. She's so fabulous. She did a fabulous Zoom for a video for us, and it's been great. And I was Zooming with Victor Garber and Mal.
I know. I love watching you interview people. It's fun to watch you interview people. It's a lot of fun. So everyone should check that out. Your friends.
I just pick people that I like. That I know and I like. And Sean Hayes, I love him.
Yeah.
He was
yeah. And of course, the whole show is dedicated to Mary Tyler Moore, who really started all this with you. What was the spark? Can you just remember what the actual spark was that brought you two together?
Well, I remember the first time I met her was actually at a CBS party. People that were on CBS shows. So all of a sudden, out from behind a pillar comes this icon, Mary Tyler Moore. He goes, "Hello, Bernadette." I go, "She knows who I am." Mary Tyler Moore knows who I am. And hello. And then we spoke for just a little bit. But then I worked with her. We did a movie for television together.
Right.
Last year, and then we became we just bonded. Right. She said, well, we were in the ladies' room on the 5-minute break, and we're looking in the mirror, and she goes, "Well, the good thing about growing old is you don't have to shave your legs as often."
And every year you got to here you guys are together. Every year you got to see her. Every year you got to see her and co-host the show with her.
I miss her every year. I miss her all the time. She was the best. I loved working with her. It was divine.
Yeah, and here you are with one of the amazing dogs. I mean, you guys, Broadway Barks has an amazing success rate of finding homes for these animals.
Oh yeah, we basically get most of them adopted that are there. So and then people go when they hear about it, and they go and they find more dogs, or they bring a friend. I mean, we've gotten close to 3,000 animals, I think, adopted in these years. So.
Amazing. And your third Tony, you have 3 Tonys, was actually an Isabel Stevenson Award for all this amazing work you've done for Broadway Barks and for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And I just want to say, you just raised hundreds of thousands of dollars last week for showing, bringing out of the vault one of your amazing Broadway concerts.
Yes.
Was that fun? Was that fun to bring it back?
Oh, it was. And then I got to chat with Michael Urie before and in the middle, the intermission and after. And I wanted so badly to do something for my fellow performers who were basically out of a job,
Yeah.
And so they need to pay their rent. They need to buy groceries. So I went to Tom Viola. I said, Tom, that concert was just seen that one night. Whoever was there, let's get it out and let's start to raise some money. And we did very well.
It worked.
It worked.
Speaking of Michael Urie, what was the name of his first car in high school?
He had a Beretta that he named a Bernadette.
It's like one of my favorite things. I'm so mad I didn't think of it. I want to rewind my childhood and get a Beretta and call it the Bernadette. Maybe I can still get one.
Can you? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to look on eBay.
I still have my first car, a 1974 Toyota.
Oh my God.
I swear I have it. So everybody wants to buy it from me. It looks like a Maserati. They love it.
How old were you when you got your first dog?
Oh, I begged and I begged and I begged. And finally, when I was 9 years old, I got a dog from where you got your Henry. I got Susie from Bidewee.
Wow, Bidewee, yeah.
In the city. I remember we took her home on the subway, I think in a box. And she was a divine. She was divine. Just, a Manhattan dog. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Yeah, when I got my Henry, I took him out of Bidewee, and it was his first time being outside. He came from like a hoarder house on Long Island. So he had just spent his entire first 9 months inside. So he didn't know about outside. I mean, it's the journey of all these dogs and all their stories. I mean, you must get emotionally, how do you not get emotionally wrapped up in seeing all these amazing animals that need home? I mean, do you watch Broadway Barks and want to get 9 more? I mean.
Yes. Well, I came to the conclusion, I finally understand what a womanizer is, because I'm a doganizer. I know it's a problem. It's a disease that I fight all the time. And I want them all. Once I realized that, I went, oh, I get it. I want them all. Well, I'm just going to stick with the 2 that I have right now.
Yeah. And who do you have?
I have Charlie and I have Rosalie.
Yes.
And they just came back from their walk. So they're napping now. They're sort of tired, but
everyone can watch them tomorrow.
A few times actually during the show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited for everyone to see. And you tell amazing stories about them. And, like you say, when you hear people talk about their pets and animals, you really see a whole different side to them. And it's true of you too. When you talk about your dogs, it's just so beautiful to watch.
All the love comes out of people. Everybody that's on that's doing the show with us tomorrow night, they start talking about their animal. All this love comes pouring out. And that's what we need right now in the world. We need that. We need a lot of love. So
yeah,
uplifting.
Do you remember, this is a random question, but I'm going to ask, do you remember your very first time you saw the Tony Awards?
That I saw them?
Yeah, what you saw. I mean,
I felt like I grew up on them.
Right, it just sort of was there.
I've always seen them.
The first thing I remember seeing on the Tony Awards is you.
Go on.
Yeah, you singing to a cowboy boot. That song and dance, you sang Unexpected Song.
Yeah.
That is literally my first Tony Awards moment in my head. And I feel like it helped inspire me to fall in love with Broadway. You singing to the cowboy boot.
Where did you grow up?
In Connecticut. And that was my first time I stumbled onto the Tony Awards. I you know.
He said, "This is it for me, boy."
And you won. You won that year.
I did win. It was very exciting. Yeah, it was very exciting.
So everyone can watch Broadway Barks. People should get ready. They should know they want an animal. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility to getting a pet. It'll change your life. I remember when I first got my first dog, Sophie, it literally changed my life in ways I didn't expect. But the joys, I mean, and we've seen so many people getting animals now, right? During the pandemic and during the shelters are actually doing well right now.
Yes, and what's wonderful about having an animal too is it gives you structure in your life, because right now you're not going to work, you're working, but you have to get up, take the dog for a walk, feed the dog. You have to think about somebody else other than yourself. And that's what and you know, when you come home and the dog takes a nap and you do what you have to do, it gives you structure. But I remember even when we weren't even in this this pandemic, that I liked the idea. At first I used to go, oh, I've got to get home and feed the dogs. And then I used to go, oh, what time is it? I love going, I used to love the consistency and the structure, just like the dogs. I'm like a dog, you know.
Yeah,
they know
true.
What time it is, I'm telling you. They always know. She gets a little Benris out. It's 4 o'clock. I go out, you have to feed me at 3:30. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to have to do something at a certain time. It definitely is, and they're just amazing. And I love pets so much, and I love Broadway Barks. I'm going to bring in Caitlin because I know we have a lot of questions. And I want to entertain a few fan questions, if you don't mind.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to do first. Michelle Zudek from Twitter would like to know, Bernadette, who and what was instrumental in helping launch Broadway Barks?
Oh, well, I was in Annie Gun, and we had just won the Easter Bonnet Award, and we were feeling really good. And, you know, what else can we do for the world? And so Richard Hester, who's one of the producers of Broadway Barks, as well as you are this year, also was a stage manager then, and we were talking. He said, well, let's help. I said, I went to the shelter, and I saw the dogs really needed help. Let's have an event in Schubert Alley. Let's call up Jerry Schoenfeld and Bernie Jacobs and I said, well, I think my friend Mary Tyler Moore might come on board. And she said, yeah, I'd love to help. I'd love to do it. So it was, and I think in the beginning, the first year, we had like 6 shelters and 8 shelters and that was it. Now we can't fit more. We have like 29, I think. We can't fit any more in there. Plus we have to fit it in the time length of between showtime, because it's between matinee and evening.
Right. Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so Blair Fargness on Instagram wants to know, how have your dogs helped you get through quarantine? Have you learned anything new about them while being at home? Love the work you do, Bernadette.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. I've learned that they understand full sentences. I've learned it's not just, commands. Hey, sit, zip. It's really like, you know what? I think today we should in the living room, and they'll go in. It's like, oh my God. We think so little of how they understand so much more than we give them credit for.
I love that.
That's so good. Okay, so actually a lot of people have this question. They want to know, how will Broadway Barks work virtually this year? Like, how does the adoptable pets thing work, and what can you share about that?
Well, basically every shelter tells you, where they are. So you go, oh, they're in Connecticut. I live in Connecticut, or I live close to Connecticut, or they're in Pennsylvania. I can go to Pennsylvania, or Jersey, or, the city. Yeah. Or this year, if you're in Idaho, you might see some adorable animals in Idaho. Or if you're in California, we have best friends in California, and we have the Santa Paula shelter, and we have the Emmy Lou's in Nashville. So, and at the end of the whole Broadway Barks virtual, there's a list of all the shelters, right, Paul, and where you can
you reach out. You reach out to the shelter. It's basically commercials for all the shelters and highlighting certain dogs, and then a lot of celebrities making you really want a dog.
Yeah, and if the dog is on your mind, it'll stay on Broadway.com. You could go there the next day, could go back and say, I can't get this dog out of my mind, or this cat out of my mind, or this pair of dogs out of my mind.
I know which dogs.
I know. You go back and check it out. It'll still be up there, and you can check it out and call the shelter.
Yeah, or maybe they'll have other amazing dogs.
I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I'm sorry for saying your name wrong. Sutrita wants to know if you would ever consider writing a musical or a play, Bernadette, because you've already written a lullaby song.
You know, I don't consider myself a writer at all. I have too much respect for composers and writers, and it's not a perfect song, but I left it the way it was because I was up in the plane and it just came to me as it was, and I just left it that way. And so I doubt you'll be hearing about me writing a musical anytime soon.
What about a memoir? Any interest?
No, I don't like really talking about myself.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, maybe a picture memoir could be very, very, very interesting. You have
written a bunch of children's books. How many books have you written, actually?
Yeah. I wrote 3. So I need to write one I wrote Charlie, about him coming from this fabulous place that you'll hear about tomorrow, dogs in Texas, and how he was found in the garbage.
Yeah.
Saved from the garbage dumpster, just as the truck was pulling out. And then so I had Rosalie. I haven't written about Rosalie yet. I sort of wrote a little bit and put it in the drawer. So maybe we'll get a book on Rosalie soon.
I'm into that.
Ooh, I'm here for that. All right. So Lily wants to know, Bernadette, because your career is so wide, it's on stage and screen, is there one particular role that people come up to you talking about the most?
What's really wonderful is we were able to film for PBS Sunday in the Park with George and Into the Woods. And I think Into the Woods, they've been using that in schools, in colleges or even high schools, studies, drama classes. And I'm so happy that it's there because, first of all, it's a brilliant show. Both of them are just brilliant for people to be able to watch. And mostly I think it's those, and unless someone has caught me in something else that hasn't been filmed, but it's mostly the ones that have been filmed.
Yeah, you know what? Thank God they filmed those. I mean, I can't even count how many times I've watched those recordings over and over and over. I mean, they're just so instrumental to a whole generation of Broadway fans. Yeah,
they are.
Definitely. I watched it in high school. That was one of my first Bernadette moments. Okay. So Sophia wants to know, how did you know you wanted to be a performer? Was it always your dream job?
I really couldn't do anything else. I can't do anything else. My mother said I sang in front of the television, and I do love music, and I love all kinds of music. And so my sister was in high school of performing arts, and she was older. So we were in show business. That was it. So as a kid, I studied, and I even worked as a child. But I think from my own, when you become more of a teenager, when you understand more about, for me anyway, that what it's doing for you and the creative outlet and the creative, the emotional outlet when you're a teenager. And I found it starting to be very satisfying there, and it just went from there.
Do you know you must know the effect you have on people. I mean, people just love I'm thinking specifically about the Sondheim special. Having you sing "No One Is Alone," a cappella was such a beautiful, raw, pure, and so many people commented like there's a real healing power to that connection you have and your talent, and it's just beautiful. And I just wanted to tell you that.
I love. First of all, and you did such a beautiful job on that special too.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't fishing for that. I was trying to.
I know you were, but I wanted to be able to tell you that. But Sondheim's songs, and that song just seemed the perfect song for the moment.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is a good song that will work without a big orchestra behind it, and so that's what I did.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for doing that. It lives on.
It does. Okay. I think we have time. Do we have time for one more question, Paul?
Sure, do one more.
All right. So I love this one. A lot of people wanted this. So Garrett says, what was the moment where you knew that you made it?
Oh.
I don't know if you ever have I made it? I don't know. Oh God, look at you. You made it. I don't know if you don't really think about that. I suppose the off-Broadway show Dames at Sea, I went from people walking by me in the street to all of a sudden strangers coming up to me and talking to me that happened to the show the night before. And I went, oh, I have more friends in the world now. I get to talk to more people. That was a difference that I noticed. That was a very noticeable difference.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's bring back Beth. Beth is going to get a dog eventually. She's working up to it.
I'm planning. I can't wait for Broadway Barks across America.
What kind of dog are you looking for?
One in need of a home. That's all I know.
Oh, we've got plenty for you.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. We've been talking. We've been building up to it. Her daughter's ready. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a long journey. We're going to do it. And Bernadette, if you ever decide to write a memoir, I hope you call it Dogonizer, because it's a perfect title.
It's a great name.
Everybody, please check out Broadway Barks. You can see it on Broadway.com's homepage, on our Facebook page, on YouTube. 7:30 tomorrow night. It is fantastic. It is just like a nice a bunch of adorable puppy videos and celebrities that are adorable like puppies and Bernadette Peters, and I mean it's just everything. I mean it's a lot of fun, and you can end up with an amazing dog and give an amazing dog a home. So I hope you'll all check it out. And Bernadette, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure getting to see your face.
It's been fun, and thank you. Nice to meet you, girl.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hey, Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today for such a fun, special episode of Live at 5 Home Edition. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts by searching for #Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. And be sure to tune in to Broadway Barks Across America tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. right here on Broadway.com.